half an hour before had completely viewed himself as a problem, right? Who he was, how he defined himself weird, was not working. And his teacher was just simply able to say, hey, that's as normal as having a nose or blonde versus brown hair. It is the little milestones that really what make us all human. And it's going to be different for all of us. And so part of what we're doing is we're figuring out with all of us all the time, what is it that makes you unique? So recognizing greatness starts with us, and then it builds exponentially. One of the most important questions we ask folks when it comes to recognition is, what is your unique gift that you bring? Why are your, in this case, patients so lucky to work with you, to have you as their nurse? What acronym could we come up with to help us remember what the hard work we've done? And somebody said FROG. Forever recognize others' greatness. I am great. Stand up if you want to participate. Strongly encourage you to participate this. Fabulous. That's awesome. Because as we know, when we do something for others, it also creates that same neurological processes in our brain where it feels as good for the other person as it feels good for us. In every industry, it just seems cliche to say now, every industry is facing that massive transformational change. Every industry is going through that same amount of change. So I said to Wendy, as I always ask, anyone here studies solution-focused appreciative inquiry? I'm sure every hand just about will go up. Yeah, so you'll appreciate this first question. Wendy, what is already working? You have the most incredibly loyal people who work in your organization. Could we figure out what is the difference between really high satisfaction, people who respond that they're really satisfied to recognition, versus people who are less satisfied? They have more trust in the organization, more satisfaction with senior leadership, and intention to stay. And for those of us in HR, we know intention to stay is the best predictor that people aren't going to leave. 95% or more people say, just tell me sincerely, thank you, to my face. Personal specific words of praise and a written thank you note. And you have just embarked upon a process where you are trying so hard as a culture to really honor that written thank you. And what I told Wendy, you've got a 24/7 operation. You're not going to see everybody, even perhaps in the next month, and you want to make sure everybody's appreciated and acknowledged right away. So a complaint is merely a poorly worded request, right? There's just really well-masked greatness. It's like, hey, I'd like to be observed for, or I'd like to appreciate it for, or I'd like to contribute. And however that comes across, it's not that there's an intent to be disruptive. It's that I'm not sure how else to articulate to you what I want to contribute is, or I have this to offer. How does that set you up for your day when the very first thing you focus on is what went well and how can we do more of that? Is it easier to handle the learning and the challenge of what didn't work well if you started with what worked well? They ended up being the biggest turnaround story in the history of that organization. They were by 2 years later, with this incredibly concentrated work, 2 years later, they had a score that was the second highest engagement score in the entire organization. What if you as an organization didn't care about recognition? And that this was your last recognition event, and that you go back and there's no more printing of cards, and you just put your head down and you get your work done as best you can, and that was the most important focus. What will it do for you and all of the people that depend on you? When we acknowledge you, we acknowledge that there's a whole team of people behind you helping you come to work every day. I really hope that you have enjoyed our time together and that it has helped to reinforce all the great things that you already do.
Wow, it was inspirational. I just think it was such a strong message to our staff. That frog concept is going to stick in my head forever, recognizing our or others' greatness. I hope that staff are going to walk away today feeling that this is not a one-day event, that we're going to continue this, and this will become part of our new culture.
I thought Sarah was amazing. Having each other's backs all the time and being connected and recognizing each other is really, really key, and that's what I hope people walk away from today, knowing that they have an organization that understands that and supports them and wants them to feel like we care.